The little rabbit had just conceived 3 little foxes, and was almost eaten by the father of her children, all because she had just transmigrated into the beast world, and was forcibly bound to a vicious childbirth system. If she didn't get pregnant within half an hour, she would die. So she found a nearby man who was severely injured and unconscious. The queen took the initiative. After gritting her teeth and finishing the deed, Nguyen heard an excited mechanical voice by her ear. "Congratulations, host, for successfully unlocking the newbie gift pack. Fertility pill, beauty pill, perfect tonic pill. After taking the fertility pill, it will help the host conceive offspring. And of course, as a reward, also the host's personal belongings." Nguyen turned her head to look at the box that appeared before her. In order to save her own life, she had no choice but to quickly swallow the little pill. Then, using the anti-inflammatory medicine and hemostatic items she carried with her, she treated the male before her. After all, he had helped her solve her survival problem. Seeing that nightfall was approaching, a rumbling sound came from Nguyen's stomach. She transformed into her beast form and ran around to find some fresh flowers and plants to satisfy her hunger. On the way back, a pitch-black face suddenly popped out before her eyes, with narrow, squinty eyes and a long mouth covered in brown fur. It was a Tibetan fox. Nguyen's entire beast form froze. How could she suddenly encounter a natural predator? Nguyen was so scared she stepped back step by step, then swiftly ran in the opposite direction. She didn't want to become someone else's meal just after transmigrating. Panting heavily, Nguyen ran to the cave. Only after confirming that no beasts were following Bind did he transform back to his original form. Looking up at the male still sleeping peacefully in the cave, his face appears somewhat flushed. "Fevers during the night are the hardest to endure, so I had no choice but to give him the few anti-inflammatory pills I had to feed him. The night on the grassland is unexpectedly cold. Nguyen is forced to transform into his beast form, pressing tightly against the injured male for warmth. The entire beast curls up beside the male's sturdy muscles, feeling the faint warmth emanating from his body. Having a male is really nice, Nguyen thinks drowsily, and falls asleep lying on the male like a ball of fur. In the middle of the night, a pair of narrow eyes slowly open. The male had thought that this time, he would most likely go to meet the beast god. He only remembers falling on the grassland, then reaching out to touch the spot where he was injured. The expected pain did not come. Instead, he felt a faint warmth in his chest. Only then did he notice a small creature lying on his chest. He picked up the small creature and examined it for a long time, finally realizing it was a pika. The male hadn't eaten in a long time. Looking at this little rabbit, it seemed quite plump. He had never eaten this kind of prey before. Wondering how it would taste, the male held the furry ball by the neck with one hand, while looking around for dry firewood to put in the cave. He snapped his fingers. A flame instantly danced on the dry firewood. The crackling sound of burning firewood echoed continuously in the cave. "Wake up quickly. If you don't wake up, you're going to be eaten." Nguyen's consciousness, scattered in her dream, heard a shout, but she was still sleeping soundly. She whimpered, turned over and continued to sleep. The male skillfully set up the rack. The little furry ball was placed over the fire. A faint warmth spread. Nguyen still felt very comfortable. Finally, it wasn't so cold anymore. But the increasingly hot temperature made her feel very uncomfortable. She opened her eyes, only to realize, before her eyes were clusters of orange-yellow flames. She was tied tightly over this fire. She turned her head and looked at the male smiling at her. A surge of resentment welled up in her heart. "Why did I save you? You want to eat me. Do you have any conscience?" The male before him looked over in surprise at the little pika being roasted over the fire, on a spit. She could actually speak. The male hurriedly removed the spit from the fire and quickly untied the little furball. Then he saw the little furball suddenly transform back into human form. A pair of teary, wide eyes stared at him. Nam was somewhat stunned, and said, "Sorry, thought you were just an ordinary pika." The male's voice surprised Nguyen. It was a somewhat deep tone, combined with this captivatingly handsome face. As someone who values looks, Nguyen immediately reined in his anger quite a bit. Seeing that he wasn't speaking, the male said, "Can you tell me your name?" A flustered blush spread across his cheeks. In this beast world where males outnumber females, he had never imagined that he would be saved by a weak female. Nguyen's round ears on her head twitched slightly, then drooped again. She was still a bit angry. "No, since you're awake, then you should leave." Nguyen, puffed up with anger, transformed into her beast form, and was about to leave the cave. Seeing this, the male immediately transformed into his beast form, gently caught the frantically running little furball in his mouth, and brought her back into the cave. Nguyen struggled wildly in his mouth, trying to escape. She always felt that being targeted by this male would bring no good. A mechanical voice suddenly blared, breaking Nguyen's principles. "Congratulations, host, on successfully conceiving 3 cubs. It is necessary to remind the host here. The father of these 3 cubs is a 9th-tier white fox. Beastmen require a large amount of nutrition to support what? So she's already pregnant with cubs. And with triplets at that." Nguyen instantly breathed a sigh of relief. She felt somewhat relieved that she could finally survive. The male before her returned to his original form, holding Nguyen in his hands. "You belong to the rabbit tribe. This is the grassland. There are many natural predators. Let me protect you, okay?" Nam looked gently at the angry little furball in his palm. Her black, bean-sized eyes blinked and blinked. She turned her head to look the other way, refusing to speak no matter what. Nguyen was somewhat unable to accept reality. Because the male before her was not wrong. She might very well be eaten by a Tibetan fox on the grassland. After much contemplation, she hopped down from Nam's palm onto the ground. Her slender figure appeared before Nam's eyes once again. Nguyen looked seriously at the blushing male before her. "Then, will you become my mate?" The flush on the male's face was impossible to ignore. Now, even his ears were tinged with the hint of red. This was nothing like the way he looked when he wanted to eat her. Then came the voice without a second thought. Nam, who was destined to wander long-term, upon hearing the little female's proactive courtship, he had no reason to refuse. Moreover, he really liked this kind little female before him. He reached out and encircled her slender waist, skillfully kissing the little female before him. He was a fox, born knowing how to win a female's heart. Nguyen, flustered, was held in his embrace, being kissed meticulously. Yet a trace of panic appeared on her face. "Not now. I'm carrying cubs." Hearing this, Nam was instantly struck as if by a blow to the head. So he wasn't the little female's first beast husband. Who could be so lucky to have become the little female's first beast husband? Nam looked somewhat resentfully at the little female before him. "You're carrying cubs. Why isn't your beast husband taking proper care of you?" Nguyen looked somewhat puzzled at Nam. This world, females are responsible for reproduction. Males hunt. Actually, things like taking care of the young mostly fall to the males too. After a female becomes pregnant, her constitution also becomes extremely fragile. Nam harbored a hidden anger in his heart, leaving a newly pregnant female alone outside. If she encountered another beast, it would swallow her whole in one bite. Nam held the little female somewhat hardicanely. "From now on, I will take good care of you." Nguyen nodded. She was carrying his young. Wasn't it only right that he take care of her? An untimely gurgling sound came from Nguyen's stomach. She couldn't help but lick her lips. A feeling of thirst and hunger surged in her heart. She really wanted to eat sweet potatoes. "You hide well here. I'll go find some food." Nguyen was gently set down by Nam. Watching Nam transform into a nimble white tiger and swiftly run towards the open grassland. The hunger pangs coming from her stomach were almost about to consume her. She grabbed a handful of grass by her side and stuffed it into her mouth. But eating the stuff seemed to make her even hungrier. Host, your newbie gift pack still has 10 servings of chicken noodle soup. It can provide nutrients for the young. 10 servings of chicken noodle soup. Why didn't he say so earlier? She immediately nodded. A bowl of noodles appeared before her, steaming with fragrant heat, topped with plenty of shredded chicken. Nguyen almost wolfed it down. She ate this bowl of chicken noodle soup. The temporary satisfaction made her feel much better. After the host successfully becomes pregnant with a cub, the system will issue rewards to the host. If it is a cub of a higher grade, higher rewards will be unlocked. What about the points? How many points have I saved up now? Nguyen only cares about whether she can survive. The system also didn't tell her exactly how many points need to be saved up to be enough to maintain this hard-won little life of hers. After the host gives birth to the cub, based on the cub's grade, the system issues corresponding point rewards. A first-grade cub can accumulate 10 points, a second-grade cub 100 points, a third-grade cub 200 points. Of course, if the host strives a bit, a mutated cub gives even more points. Nguyen frowned while listening to these rewards. Then what? The cub's max level only goes up to 3rd grade. The host needs to save up 10,000 points to be able to survive in the beast world. 10,000 points for max grade. A cub is 200 points. Mutated ones are certainly rare and hard to come by. Nguyen really felt her vision go dark. A wave of sadness welled up in her heart. This is just another way to kill her. Host, rest assured. The receptor chosen for you is one that gets pregnant and gives birth very easily. The rabbit tribe. They can give birth in half a month. And the system comes with painless childbirth. Also, let me introduce myself again. I am your exclusive system, Siu. If you have any questions in the future, you can directly call my name to ask. Nguyen couldn't help but burst into laughter. The system, however, never replied again. Instead, it silently went invisible. Nguyen ate the chicken noodle soup gifted by the system, feeling that her body's vitality had recovered quite a bit. She yawned, transformed back into her beast form. She hid herself in the grass and comfortably fell asleep. Nam returned clutching 2 wild chickens. He searched around the cave before finally spotting the little pika, already on its back, sleeping lazily. He shook his head with some amusement. He went to the cave entrance, feeling at ease, and began preparing the food. Nguyen's nose twitched. The strong, savory meat aroma attracted her. She opened her eyes and jumped up with force. It's the smell of meat. This meat smells so good. She hopped and skipped over to Nam's side, resumed her human form, looking at the chicken already roasted to a fragrant aroma. A satisfied smile appeared on her face. So fragrant. Nam looked at the satisfied expression on the little female's face, feeling very gratified in his heart. She didn't have an ounce of extra fat on her entire body. Just thinking about her being pregnant. Yet her beast husband wouldn't let her have a single tasty bite. Nam felt a soreness in his heart. He placed the roasted chicken in a bowl. Alright, try it. Although beasts have no seasonings, and the taste is a bit gamey, but for the health and superior quality of the baby in her belly, she reluctantly endured it. Nam looked at the little female in front of him, her small mouth slowly eating that meat. He reached out to stroke her soft, silky hair. Nguyen was very protective of her food. She didn't mind Nam's actions, focused intently on holding the wooden bowl, slowly swallowing the meat in her mouth. Having a male is really good. Looking at it this way, living with this fox in the future seems pretty good too. Nam watched as the little female finished the meat cleanly. He looked somewhat moved at her still flat belly. The little female is carrying a cub. The little cub in her belly also needs to absorb nutrients. She must raise the little female to be plump and fair, so she'll have strength when giving birth. Nguyen drank a few more sips of water, reached out to touch her own little belly, feeling already full. Always living in this desolate cave isn't good either. Nguyen wanted to go out to pick the freshest flowers and plants to eat. Besides, the original owner had a beast father and 3 brothers. They belonged to the rabbit tribe. They have their own tribe. Moreover, forming a bond during the Beastman festival requires a shaman's witness. The bond is only truly formed after the ritual carving. She had already promised Nam to become true beastmates with him. She cannot go back on her word. Nguyen moved closer to Nam, looking seriously at the male fox who was eating meat. Will you come back to the tribe with me? We beast companions must form a bond and carve the mark. And I don't like it here. Nam heard the little female's tone carrying a note of negotiation. His heart trembled slightly. She was discussing it with him. He slowly put down the wooden bowl in his hand. Turning his head, he looked at the somewhat conflicted little female. Nam. Nguyen looked somewhat puzzled at the captivating face before her. The male before her was malfunctioning. I said my name is Nam. And you, little female? The original host's name was the same as hers, also called Nguyen. That saved a lot of trouble. So, will you come back with me? The cubs in Nguyen's belly need nutrition. Usually, she could manage by picking and eating berries, but now, the cubs she's carrying are foxes. Not eating meat is not an option. Moreover, her several older brothers all have their own female masters. If there's only the father beast, going out hunting isn't safe either. Nguyen looked at Nam before her with eager, pleading eyes. Besides, the cubs she's carrying are also his. Could he bear to see his own cubs go hungry? Nam reached out and stroked Nguyen's head. After thinking for a long time, all right, I'll go back with you. Then he tentatively asked Nguyen, after we become mates, can you bear cubs for me? Hearing Nam's words, Nguyen's entire face grew hot. She didn't even dare to face the male before her. If he found out that the current cubs in her belly were obtained because she, the queen, forced herself on him, would Nam get angry? Nguyen lifted her gaze and looked seriously at the male in front of her, seeing his very expectant expression. She then knew just how much he anticipated having cubs. All right, Nguyen straightened her back and agreed straightforwardly. Nam, on her flushed cheek, devoutly planted a kiss. Nguyen's eyes widened into perfect circles. Nam held the little female's hand and gazed around. In the beast world continent, only those who awaken special abilities can become beastmen, and females who can become beastmen are born with innate abilities, usually the non-aggressive wood and water elements, so if they stay long on the vast, open grasslands, when he goes out hunting with no one by her side, the female is also prone to accidents. Actually, even if Nguyen hadn't said it, Nam also wanted to accompany her back. Now, the little female even said she would form a bond and mark with him. He had wandered for so long, and actually also yearned for a home of his own. And now, the little female was willing to give him a home. Naturally, he must protect her well. The journey back was too far. Nguyen directly shifted back to her beast form, was held in Nam's arms, leaning against his solid pectoral muscles. Do all beast-like males have such good figures? Nam reached out and stroked Nguyen's belly. Her whole beast body tensed up nervously. Why is this fox always so handsy? Doesn't he know she's carrying several cubs in her belly? Nguyen was somewhat unable to bear it, shook her body, and prepared to jump down from his hands. Little female, don't move. Look, what's that in the sky? Nguyen raised her head, watching a few FLIs approaching in the sky. Scared, she buried her head directly into Nam's arms. Nam chuckled softly. Don't worry, those are just a few first-tier eagle beasts. They wouldn't dare eat you. With me here. Nguyen lowered her head, recalling the original owner's memories. The beastmen in this world are born with special abilities. If they lack special abilities, and only possess beast crystals, they are considered mere beasts. And the original owner was born as a first-tier carrier, living all the way to adulthood, with only a first-tier wood element ability. Her father, on the other hand, is a fifth-tier wood element, and her brothers are the same. But the third brother is the most powerful, a sixth-tier water element beastman. In the entire family, only the original owner's ability is weak, because their mother passed away to meet the beast god after giving birth to them. As the only little female cub in the family, she was practically pampered and raised. But among the females in the tribe, she is the female with the weakest ability. Such females have very low fertility, so at the coming-of-age ceremony, not a single male chose her. Nguyen couldn't help but sigh. Even if she wants to become stronger, it's useless in this beast world. Whether male or female, they must rely on hunting to obtain beast crystals from wild animals, absorbing their power to advance their abilities. Most females' abilities stop at the third tier. The fourth tier is extremely rare. Moreover, female strength is different from males, yet another extremely gentle supernatural ability. And the beast crystals the original owner obtained since childhood were quite limited. She lifted her gaze to look at Nam, only hoping that Nam could be more ambitious, to help her hunt more. They had just arrived outside the tribe, when they saw Father Beast leaning against a large rock, covering his face and crying. Even if you were looked down upon by the males in the tribe, you can't just run away like this. Father Beast can still support you for a lifetime. The male beastman with the somewhat aged face called out Nguyen's name with a choked voice. Nguyen, hearing Father Beast's words, quickly jumped down from Nam, transformed into human form. Father Beast, I'm back. Janssen looked at the unharmed Nguyen before him, wiped the tears from his face fiercely with one hand. It's good that you're back. Come back with Father Beast. Father Beast can still take care of you. Nam frowned as he looked at Nguyen. Was it because she was too weak that her previous beast husband directly abandoned her? How despicable. Father Beast, and there's also him. He is the beast husband I found. He is willing to become my partner. As long as we become partners and have offspring, the tribe will no longer look down on her and Father Beast. When a female beast passes away, the male's supernatural ability will also be lost. Half of the beast body will be greatly affected. This also serves as a kind of constraint. So ever since the original owner's kind mother passed away, the original owner's Father Beast's ability remained at less than tier 3. Janssen didn't say it out loud, but he was still worried in his heart. The weakest little hedgehog couldn't find a beast husband. Now, seeing the male by her side, he finally felt at ease. Janssen couldn't help but wipe his tears. Good. Since you've formed a bond, this Father Beast will go and tidy up the cave that was prepared for you earlier. Nguyen led Nam into the tribe, and then to the beast cave that belonged solely to the two of them. Nguyen looked at the stone bed already prepared inside, along with the wooden bowls her brother had prepared for her earlier, and the stone pot. He had even made several sets of beast hide skirts and simple grass skirts. Nguyen felt a warmth in her heart. In her previous life, her parents passed away early, and she could only drift between the homes of several relatives. Life depending on others was never easy. She never expected that after crossing over, she could still receive such familial affection. Janssen busily looked around, then took off the beast hide belt he was wearing. He placed the few third-tier beast crystals stored inside into Nguyen's hand. Nguyen, these are what your Father Beast saved for you. You hold on to them well. Improve your tier, and soon have cubs with your beast husband. Nguyen looked at the 3 glowing yellow crystals. According to the original host's memories, beast crystals range from 1st to 10th tier, with colors in order: brown, orange, yellow, green, blue, cyan, purple, red, black, and white. Nguyen gazed at the incredibly precious beast crystals before her. her heart warming slightly. Yellow beast crystallis in the rabbit tribe. But there are only a few high-level beast crystals. Nam looked at Nguyen, whose eyes were slightly red. His heart couldn't help but ache. Her previous beast husband actually never took the initiative to replenish beast crystals for his female master. No wonder the little female is still only at the first rank. She's moved to tears just by seeing a third-rank yellow beast crystal. If one day he finds her beast husband, Nam will definitely beat him to death. Alright, don't cry. Take your beast husband to complete the seasonal ritual early, so Father Beast can rest assured. Janssen looked at the tall, strong male, following beside Nguyen. He could tell at a glance he was extraordinary in strength. His female cub is only first rank. He worries that if the male changes his mind, Yuan will be sad and run away from home again. Only by leaving earlier during the solar term can he feel at ease. Nguyen wiped away her tears. Nodding, she took Nam's hand and headed into the tribe. Nam, feeling the warmth from the little female's small hands, her face flushed with a hint of red. The little female's hands were fair and tender, soft and supple. He couldn't help but give her palm a gentle squeeze. The feel was truly wonderful. Nguyen turned her head and glared at Nam. This fox can't even hold hands without causing trouble. After a long while, they finally arrived at the shaman's cave. Nguyen held Nam's hand tightly, not giving him another chance to act recklessly. A young girl was drying medicinal herbs at the cave entrance. When she saw the frail Nguyen appear, she immediately stepped forward and hugged Nguyen. Yuan, where have you been? There are so many Tibetan foxes on the grassland. I was afraid you'd been eaten by them. Renhui held Nguyen and cried like a child. Nguyen then remembered. This little female was the childhood friend who grew up with Nguyen. Renhui had been a high-grade, third-tier female cub since birth. And during the coming-of-age ceremony 2 years ago, she had chosen several powerful beast husbands from the tribe. One of them was third brother Yance. Renhui could be considered Nguyen's sister-in-law, gently patting Renhui's back, feeling the kindness from her friend. The corners of her lips curled into a faint smile, softly explaining, "Fine. Look, I even picked up a beast husband. Today, I aim to ask Auntie Jen for help with the bonding ceremony." Renhui looked towards Nguyen's side. Only then did she notice that she had actually brought back a male. She circled around Nam several times to confirm he was a healthy male. That's acceptable. You two go in. My mother happens to be free. Nguyen nodded. Pulling Nam, she lifted the grass curtain of the cave and went in. The shaman, seeing the visitors, was the only disliked little female in the tribe. She sighed, feeling somewhat sorry for this little female. Not only did she lose her mother from a young age, but there wasn't a single male willing to take her. I came today to ask you to perform the bonding and marking ceremony. This is my newly found beast husband. Only then did the shaman notice that the beast standing beside Nguyen was actually a male. His face was somewhat androgynous. She directly reached out and felt Nam's pulse. When she sensed the domineering, extraordinary power within his pulse, her pupils dilated. Her eyes filled with disbelief. What incredible luck does Nguyen have to actually find a 9th-tier beastman as a husband? Nguyen looked at the shaman's astonished expression. What's wrong, Auntie Jen? Can we not perform the bonding? A trace of displeasure also flickered between Nam's brows. He knew the beasts around the little female were wary of her, but that shouldn't delay their bonding. He wanted to bond with the little female as soon as possible. Only by forming a bond can we properly care for the little female. After all, she is pregnant. Of course, it's possible. You two sit down. I will now form the bond for you. It's possible to just form the bond. Even a 9th-tier beastman must stay by his female master's side. This is the greatest security for Nguyen. The person holds a shaman's staff, silently reciting prayers. Nguyen feels a warm current flow through her entire body. When a pica mark appears on Nam's chest, He immediately senses the physical condition of the little female. Indeed, the energy within her body is very weak, and she needs nourishment. A lot of brown beast crystals, but the cub in her belly. How could it be of his bloodline? Nam and Auntie simultaneously look with some shock at Nguyen, who is comfortably enjoying the shared power. After forming the bond, some of the male's power can be shared with the female to warm and nurture her body. Nguyen, having just formed the bond, feels this power, completely unaware of the two beasts before her, and the look in their eyes as they gaze at her. How astonished they are. "You're pregnant?" Auntie asks, and she senses that the cub in Nguyen's belly seems to be more than just 3 ard tier. Its tier might even be very high. Such a cub has never appeared before in their rabbit tribe. Here's an exclamation, frowning. How did this happen, being pregnant before marriage? And you had to make it known to everyone. Isn't it good for people to suspect that it's the cubs? Nam also looked at the person with great concern. He could only feel that there were 3 of his cubs in his belly, but he didn't know how the cubs were doing. It's not that you're carrying 3 cubs, but their ranks are going to surpass yours. If you don't improve your own rank soon, you will be devoured by the cubs. Nam frowned tightly, looking at the little female who looked shocked. It seems she didn't know any of this at all. Then what should we do? Just as Nguyen had crossed over into this beast life, it has been full of ups and downs. She thought that coming to the beast world, as long as she mated and had cubs, she could survive. She never expected her fragile little body simply couldn't raise the cubs. Well, how could the damn system screw her over like this? As long as your beast husband prepares enough beast crystals to help you advance to the 3rd rank or higher, nothing will happen. She also knew this wasn't easy. A rabbit gives birth in just 15 days. But now, there are only about 13 days left. Even if she could share her beast husband's power, it's still too difficult. I'll bring you some medicine you can drink. Have your beast husband boil it and give it to you to drink. It will be good for both you and the cubs. Nguyen nodded silently, feeling somewhat worried in her heart. Although she now has a beast husband and cubs, she still couldn't feel happy at all. Nam held the medicine in his hand, looking at the little female. His eyes filled with fear. He took from his body several brown beast crystals. "Don't be afraid. I have plenty more. Just eat them and you'll be fine." Nam reached out and patted the little female's head. The little female still hasn't explained that the cub in her belly is his. Could it be that he forced himself on the little female when he was injured? Nam really wanted to slap himself twice. How could he be such a beast? Nguyen reached out and took those beast crystals, shoved them into her mouth, and immediately felt the power inside her body surge. Nam reached out and held her, using his ability to help guide the power within her body. In just a moment, a hidden pattern of ability flickered on Nguyen's forehead. She was already a 2nd-tier wood element female beast. "Nam, you're amazing. I'm already 2nd tier. I've lived this long, and my ability never advanced before. You're really too good." Nguyen was moved, reached out and hugged Nam's waist, while still cursing incessantly in her heart. "Damn system, see you. Get out here. With such a bug. Shouldn't you give me some compensation? The host's cub has a higher tier. The system has upgraded the gift package, including 100 beast crystals each from tier 1 to 5, plus 50 nutrient solutions as compensation." Nguyen was shocked in her heart. Even her crying stopped. Nam gently patted Nguyen's back and comforted her softly. "Now not afraid anymore. Soon, I'll be able to help you advance to the 5th rank. With me here, I won't let anyone hurt you." Nguyen nodded. The fear in her heart gradually faded away. The female cub of the tribal chief, Lin, walked over from another direction. She had thought that Nguyen, this weak female, would have long been eaten by Tibetan foxes outside. Never expected she would dare to run back. "Nguyen, you actually came back alive. But what a pity. Tomorrow is the coming of age ceremony again. I'm afraid some females won't have beast medicine again this year. Nguyen slightly frowned, looking at the large-shouldered, thick-waisted female before her. If she didn't speak, Nguyen would even think she was a male in this tribe. Most males in the beast world prefer such physically robust females, believing only such strong females can better raise cubs. Nguyen helplessly shook her head. What are you shaking your head for? Let me tell you. I'm just like you. Both females from another world. But I'm pregnant with a cub. I'm different from you now. Nguyen was pushed hard by Lin. She instinctively stepped back. Luckily, Nam caught her. Nam's expression changed, glowering darkly at Lin in front of him. But males in the beast world are not allowed to harm females, otherwise they will be punished by the beast god. This matter can only be resolved by the little female herself. Nam looked down at the little female in his arms. The female in front is big and burly. How could a little female possibly beat her? You ugly female that nobody wants. Just wait to be driven out by the clan. Nguyen reached out to support her waist, looking at the smug female in front of her. I have already formed a bond. I won't be driven out by the clan. Lin Yun's pupils contracted. She leaned close to Nguyen's face. You better not be lying just to stay in the tribe and eat for free. That's why you're lying. Where is your beast husband? Show him to me. Lin's tone was full of provocation. From childhood to adulthood, the original host had been bullied by this female in front of her. Even the original host's father, Beast. It was because of Lin's father, using improper means, that he had his position as clan chief stolen. In this tribe, the female's supernatural ability grade and fertility almost represents everything. Nguyen doesn't want to take this anymore. She wants to prove herself. Nguyen extended his slender little hand, holding Nam's big hand tightly, then lifted up to show Lin. See it? This is my beast husband. Lin turned his head to look at the male standing next to Nguyen, with handsome features. Only then did he notice his solid chest and his tall, straight posture. Nam looked at the little female's face, flushed red with anger. He hadn't expected her to retaliate in this way. He curled his lips into a light smile. The look in his eyes held a trace of doting that seemed utterly maddening to behold. So this beast was actually a male. Lin looked at Nam with a sour feeling in her heart. Male, do you know? She only has first-tier abilities, and her fertility is very poor. You can choose to form a bond with me. I'll reluctantly take you in. I'll definitely bear you the next litter of cubs. Lin's obese body moved closer to Nam, just wanting to pull Nam away from Nguyen's side. Nguyen immediately pulled Nam back a step. He looked the female in front of him up and down. Her face was full of coarse, fierce flesh. All the fat on her body was wobbling incessantly. She actually dared to try and snatch Nam away. Nam is my beast husband, already bonded and marked. What gives her the right to snatch him? She is Nam's female master. She should protect him. Nam, seeing Lin in front of her, furious and flustered, she gritted her teeth and charged at Nguyen. Nam held Nguyen and dodged. Lin slammed straight into a towering tree that reached the clouds. Her entire forehead visibly turned red. Soon, beads of blood gradually seeped through. Lei Feng, you just watch me get hurt. Is that it? What use are you to me? Nguyen looked at Lin in front of her, extended a massive arm, and swung it at the face of the frail male beside her. The male didn't even look as large in build as her. The frail male was struck so hard his whole beast body fell to the ground. The blood flowing from his nose instantly stained his entire palm red. Even Nguyen was startled by the sight. That male beast only dared to crouch on the side, bowing his head and softly apologizing to Lin. Then they heard Lin venting frantically at her beast husband. Nguyen tightly clenched Nam's hand, her pair of round eyes carefully fixed on him, watching him. His face was truly breathtakingly beautiful. No wonder Lin also wanted to snatch him away. Nam noticed the little female's gaze, continuously resting on his face. He curved his lips into a smile. His little female is really well behaved. He is glad that he encountered one who is extremely kind-hearted little female. If she were like that female just now, he would rather give up half of his special abilities and definitely cut off their life force. Nam supported Nguyen as they slowly walked home. Afraid that another female as fierce as Lin might appear, Janssen watched his own female cub being protected in Lin's embrace. He was moved to tears. Even if he is no longer around, he won't have to worry about Nguyen in the future. No, on such a wonderful day. How can he cry? He must call his 3 cubs back. Nguyen couldn't help but sneeze. Nam frowned slightly. A pair of blue eyes filled with concern. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Sit on me. I'll carry you back. The little female is very thin and weak. In order to take care of him, she stayed in the cave for such a long time. How could he have brought himself to lay hands on such a little female? In that harsh environment, Nam even felt like slapping himself twice. Nguyen watched as he transformed into his beast form. A white fox crouching on the ground. The fox's tail directly wrapped around her and placed her on its back. Nam ran forward steadily. Nguyen was touching real fox fur for the first time. It felt incredibly comfortable. Janssen arrived with his 3 bear cubs. He even took the Trublato tidy himself up again. I'm telling you guys, this is the beast husband that Nguyen went through great trouble to bring back. You better not give the beast any attitude. Did you hear me? How dare the 3 adult males not listen to their father beast's words? But little Yuan is their treasured baby, raised in the palms of their hands since childhood. She can't just be casually whisked away by some beast, right? Yanhei, as the eldest brother, although he didn't say anything, still looked at this cave with a grave expression. He firmly believes that his younger sister is the cutest little female in this world, and is definitely capable of finding an outstanding male. If this male is not even as good as Yanhei, he will absolutely train him well. They had already discussed this matter early on. Even if Father Beast is protecting little Yuan, that beast husband picked up casually, they would also demand the highest standards from him. After Janssen straightened up while leaning on his cane, he then lifted the grass curtain at the cave entrance. Nam was roasting meat inside the cave. As for Nguyen, he had slept straight from the road all the way home. Hey, Nam. I brought your 3 older brothers over. Get to know each other. The 3 Yanhei brothers, without Nam's permission, entered the cave directly. At that moment, the little female at home was lying with her belly turned up, sleeping soundly on the stone bed. She was practically drooling. So you're the beast husband my sister found. Yanhei was a beastman with 5th-tier wood element abilities in the tribe. This brought him great pride. However, after he approached, he suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of pressure emanating from the beastman before him. Yanhei and Yance, seeing their eldest brother's unpleasant expression, instantly looked shocked and re-examined the male before them. To suppress eldest brother's abilities so easily, he absolutely couldn't be an ordinary beast. Hello, eldest brother, second brother, third brother. My name is Nam. My original form is a white fox. The 3 brothers, Yanhei and Yance, looking at the gently smiling male before them, could hardly imagine that he could possess such domineering abilities. Good. Only a 7th-tier ability beastman can properly protect our Yuan. Yanhei was extremely happy. Nguyen was born with a weak constitution. She needs a powerful beast husband for protection. She really picked this beast husband. Well, Nam looked at the few smiling males before him. He opened his mouth to explain. A 9th-tier beastman. The smiles on the faces of the 3 Yanhei brothers froze. They opened their mouths wide, staring at Nam before them. A 9th-tier beastman. Their little sister actually just casually picked up a 9th-tier beastman and brought him back. Is he willing to be a beast husband? The little female on the bed suddenly felt that within this cave, several forces were intertwining. The oppressive air prompted her to wake up. She transformed back to her original form. She lifted her gaze to look at the several people before her. Slowly got up, feeling somewhat uncomfortable inside the cave. Father, brothers, you've come. I feel so unwell. Nam, quickly take me out for some fresh air. Nam immediately stepped forward to support her. How could he forget the little female was still sleeping in the cave? Too powerful of an ability would make the weaker female unable to bear it. He immediately retracted his ability, scooped up Nguyen and carried her outside the cave. Yanhei's expression changed, instantly becoming tense. Janssen looked at his several cubs. With his cane, he knocked each of them in turn. Hey, how could I have given birth to 3 such foolish brats? Don't you know Yuanyuan's ability is weak? Just to compete with her beast husband. You disregarded. Are you guys crazy? Father Beast, don't blame the older brothers. It's Nam's fault. My special ability is too powerful. Yuan couldn't withstand it. The fault lies entirely with me. Nam's submissive apology instantly drew Nguyen's gaze over. The males in the beast world are really so well behaved. He actually took the initiative to admit his mistake to Father Beast. He turned to look at the original host's 3 older brothers. It's not your fault. It's our fault. The 3 older brothers, seeing she was already awake, had tears welling up in their eyes. Thank goodness Yuan is okay. Yuan, what would you like to eat? Your brother will go get it for you. Nguyen looked at his own lower abdomen, feeling he should tell his father and brothers about the matter of being pregnant with cubs. Father, Beast, brothers, I'm pregnant with cubs. The Janssen father and his 4 sons, who had been looking calm just moments before, suddenly became shocked. They all turned their gaze in unison toward Nguyen and Nam in front of them. Yuan, you're pregnant? How long have you and Nam known each other? And you're already pregnant? Nguyen raised her eyes somewhat sheepishly, glanced at Nam, then turned to look at her several older brothers. It was discovered by Auntie Jen when we formed the bond. She said I'm carrying 3 cubs, but their grades are somewhat high. I need to take good care of my health. Speaking of this, Nguyen was still inwardly cursing her lousy system for not finding her a beast husband with a lower grade. Pitifully, Siu was still rapidly searching through his own database for information. All his painstaking efforts, the host never sees, seen tearfully sent out an emoji sticker. Nguyen received a document that kept appearing over and over in her mind. It was all about how to recuperate one's health in the beast world. Nguyen didn't even have time to finish reading it. Siu, with emotion, played a segment of mechanical audio. Host, don't worry. You can have Nam go search for little white fruits nearby now. Nguyen licked her lips, remembering the fragrant taste of peanuts, and looked toward Nam. Nam, after forming the bond here, we're supposed to meet the female head's family and have a meal together. I want to eat little white fruits tonight. Can you go pick some? What else do you want to eat? Tell me all at once. Nam's eyes held a touch of affection as he watched the little female lower her gaze in deep thought. And the green-skinned fruit, that's also delicious. Yanhei leaned close to his own. Little sister, can you eat the green-skinned fruit? You must be joking, right? Once you peel the green-skinned fruit, it's just a big, hard piece of skin. Only those silly things from the squirrel tribe like to gnaw on them. You like that green-skinned fruit too? Just peel off the skin and take out the kernel inside. It's really tasty. Big brother, you just don't know. Wait until Nam brings it back. I'll eat it in front of you. Yuan, don't say Big brother didn't warn you. Those squirrels only eat that when they can't find any other food. Listen to your big brother. Big brother has some seed fruits picked earlier. Sweet, very soft, and glutinous. Only those are suitable for a little female like you to eat. Purple fruit, isn't that grapes? Nguyen blinked her eyes. Never thought Big Brother actually went to the west to pick purple fruit. It seems Big Brother is truly deeply in love with sister-in-law Sunny. Big Brother, forget it. Purple fruit isn't easy to pick. And I remember sister-in-law Sunny really likes eating purple fruit. Janssen, as the old father, coughed twice. All right, you three take good care. Your word, master, is we have Nam and me here to take care of things. But tonight, see if your word master can come over. The three Yanhei brothers nodded. Nguyen watched Nam go far away. After Janssen learned that Nguyen was pregnant, he didn't dare let a female stay alone in the cave. He looked at his own little female cub. Go eat quickly. It wouldn't be good if you go hungry. Nguyen looked at the two big bowls of meat on the table, directly pushed one bowl in front of Janssen. Father Beast, you eat Nam's cooking with me. It's really delicious, try it. Janssen hadn't eaten meat for a long time. His health had been getting worse over the years. Janssen coughed twice, then noticed a large patch of bloodstain on his palm. It seems his fragile body really can't hold on much longer. Nguyen looked up and saw the blood seeping through his fingers. Father Beast, what's wrong with you? Janssen smiled and shook his head. What could it be? It's nothing, you eat quickly. How could Nguyen rest easy? If it weren't for her mother's sudden death, plus some scheming people in the tribe taking advantage of his weakness, forcing him to go hunting, her father, Beast, wouldn't be like this. Nguyen looked heartbrokenly at Janssen's aged face. How old is he? A normal 5 beast with abilities could live 100 years. The more Nguyen thought, the more wrong she felt. Tears fell pattering down. Siu, do you have any way to help me? Nguyen had only just begun to feel the warmth of a family. She didn't want her loved ones to leave her so soon. Well, there is a way. But you'll have to wait until you give birth and leave up. The points you earn can be exchanged for a primordial essence pill. Hearing the system's words, Nguyen asked, why? The newbie gift pack had a free panacea. But this essence pill requires points to exchange? Even if the cubs are level 3, they won't grant many points. Who knows how many points this essence pill will cost by then? Master, you could always just choose to give up on the exchange. Hearing this, Nguyen was almost driven to a bitter laugh by the system. Listen to yourself. Is that even a human thing, Toze? How could she just watch her father die and do nothing? Then use your points when the time comes. It cannot be given for free. When Nam returned, his animal skin bag was already stuffed full. Nam handed the 2 beast crystals gripped in his palm to Nguyen. Eat these, they will help you. Nguyen looked at Nam in shock. So fast? He actually hunted 2 more mutated beasts with crystals. Nguyen moved to put the 2 crystals to Hermith. Seeing this, Janssen stepped forward and snatched the crystals from her hand. Yuan, even if you eat beast crystals, no. You can only handle level 1 ones. If you force yourself to absorb level 2 crystals, the energy will backfire on you. Janssen looked at Nguyen with concern. Father, I have already advanced in rank. Look, an orange glow is appearing on my hand. Janssen stared at this scene in shock. He had tried feeding Nguyen quite a few brown beast crystals before, but they hadn't had much effect. Yet now, she directly advanced to the 2nd rank. Tears shimmered in Janssen's eyes. Trembling, he placed his hands on Nguyen's and Nam's hands. Yuan Nam is a capable and good beast husband. You two live well together. Father will go home to find some food. I'll come over tonight. Nguyen slowly swallowed the beast crystal. Its gentle warmth nourished her body. At the same time, the cubs in her belly also absorbed the power of the beast crystal. They seemed to feel very happy. Nguyen reached out and touched her small abdomen, feeling their strength. She suddenly felt deeply moved and warm inside. Nam looked at the obedient little female, squinting her eyes as she touched her belly. He couldn't help but reach out and wrap his arm around her waist, placing a kiss on her forehead. Nguyen reached out and hugged Nam's arm. Nam, Father, I want my several sisters-in-law and brothers to come over for a meal together. Can you prepare a bit more food?" A gentle smile filled Nam's eyes. He reached out and ruffled the little female's soft, curly hair. "All right, what all needs to be prepared?" The rabbit tribe mostly still loves to eat grass and some grass fruits. Hearing this, Nam went out directly to gather them. Nguyen walked outside the cave, took out 2 packets of seeds extracted from the system. The Pika tribe is very skilled at digging holes in the ground. Nguyen directly transformed back into her beast form, swiftly dug over 50 soil pits. She placed each tiny seed inside, was just about to cover the pits. From the nearby grass, suddenly came a series of rustling sounds. Immediately, Nguyen's alarm bells rang loudly. A large orange cat suddenly darted out from the grass. In its mouth was a highly fragrant flower. Nguyen looked closely. Wasn't that the snow lotus that grows on the nearby high mountains? The large orange cat's golden vertical pupils were fixed on her. Nguyen looked at that snow lotus. The Pika tribe loves to eat these fragrant flowers and plants the most. Just smelling it made her mouth water. But this cat entering their tribe, could it be looking for food? The large cat in front of her pitifully squatted before her, tail swishing back and forth, eyes holding a somewhat ingratiating look. They just stared at each other like that. After a good while, Nguyen had a sudden inspiration, took out 2 pieces of beef jerky and slowly placed them to the side. Softly spoke to the large cat. "You come eat this. I'll take this and trade you for the snow lotus, okay?" Being a Pika, in the end, she was dominated by simple appetite. Besides, that large cat clearly eats meat. Perhaps it just wanted to trade for meat to eat. The big cat put down the snow lotus in its mouth, leaned close to her, slowly ate those 2 pieces of dried meat. Nguyen slowly picked up the snow lotus. The fragrant and sweet taste filled her mouth directly. She ate the entire snow lotus. This taste was even better than meat. So delicious. Next time, she would also have Nam pick it for her to eat. After watching the big cat eat its fill, Nguyen lay down in the shade beside her. Those yellow pupils also closed, leisurely wagging its tail. It seemed like it planned to stay here. Nguyen looked at him, somewhat puzzled. After all, he was also a small animal. Keeping a cat as a pet didn't seem very appropriate. Nguyen helplessly shook her head. As long as she maintained her human form, shared a bit of meat with this big orange cat, it probably wouldn't turn on her. Nguyen slowly filled the soil for the already planted seeds. While watering the land, she heard footsteps coming from afar. Then the big cat at her feet instantly woke up, darted straight out from a nearby corner. So fast. Gone was the silly, meat-seeking look from when it first arrived. Seeing it leave, Nguyen felt somewhat relieved. Otherwise, she wasn't sure if her rations would be enough to share. She stretched her neck to look at the beast approaching from outside. Only then did she realize it wasn't Nam. It was actually her brothers and sisters-in-law who arrived first. 3 sisters-in-law. The eldest sister-in-law was a 4th-tier female with abilities, Sunny. Now, she is already the mother of 5 cubs. The eldest brother is her second beast husband. But the eldest brother is well liked by the eldest sister-in-law. The second sister-in-law is the 3rd-tier female Gigi. She has given birth to 3 cubs with the second brother. For now, there are no other beast husbands. The 3rd sister-in-law is the daughter of the witch doctor's family in Hui. She grew up with Nguyen since childhood. She awakened at birth. An excellent 3rd-tier wood element female. She took in 3 beast husbands even before coming of age. Because of their childhood friendship, she chose Yance as her first beast husband. Nguyen was tidying up the food brought by her elder brothers and sisters-in-law. Nam returned from outside, covered in dust, carrying a whole antelope on his back. Then he handed Nguyen a large bundle. "These are all things you rabbit types love to eat. You go eat first." Sunny and Gigi looked at the handsome male before them. They both began to look forward to the little cubs in Nguyen's belly. Renhui reached out to sense the cubs in her belly, suddenly smiling on her face, with very strong vitality. Possibly 3 fox cubs. Nguyen reached out and touched her own lower abdomen. 3 fox cubs. The moment she thought of Nam's enviably handsome face, her entire beast felt physically and mentally at ease. By the time the sisters-in-law left, Nam had already skinned the antelope, completely stripped off, and had already tanned it. Drying it on the rack, he made. Such a fox. Beast. Husband is too virtuous, isn't he? Is there anything this beast doesn't know how to do? Choosing Nam as her beast husband was truly the most correct thing the system ever did for her. The antelope beast skin has fur on it. When the weather gets a little colder, this will be just right to wear. Nguyen obediently nodded her head. Watching Nam tidy everything up, she thought about how her father beast hadn't come over. She felt somewhat concerned in her heart. Moreover, there was still a lot of food sent by her brother and sister-in-law. She planned to pack some up to send over to her father beast. Nam looked at the little female in front of him, carrying the beast skin bag, and walking quickly. He couldn't help but sigh. Yuan, wait for me. Hearing the voice behind her, Nguyen looked toward Nam. I planned to go to Father Beast's place. We agreed he would come over together today. He didn't come. Hearing Nguyen's words, Nam immediately transformed into his beast form and came forward. My speed is faster. Nguyen nodded, sitting on Nam's back. Within the rabbit tribe, many little females saw Nguyen sitting on a pure white fox, making them extremely envious. Nam soon arrived at the entrance of his father-in-law's cave. He saw Janssen leaning against the cave entrance, motionless. Nguyen, frantic with worry, called out to Janssen twice. Janssen clutched his chest, wanting to speak, but feeling extremely unwell. But he couldn't force out a single word. His heart and lungs hurt terribly. Nguyen was so frightened her entire face turned pale. Quickly, help me send Father Beast to Auntie Jen's place. Nguyen's heart concealed a sneeze. She currently did not have enough points. Uncertain if the system could allow credit. If possible, she gritted her teeth and called out in her heart. Host, what do you need? I want to exchange for a solid foundation and nourish origin pill. Can you give it to me on credit? Just deduct it directly after I give birth to the cubs. 1 solid foundation and nourish origin pill. 20 points. Host, are you sure you want to exchange? Nguyen didn't think twice and directly agreed. Then a small wooden box appeared in Nguyen's hand. Nguyen opened the box and saw the pill inside. While the shaman was focused on preparing the medicine, she secretly fed the pill to Janssen. Nguyen gently patted Rongzio's back, hoping this pill would truly take effect. Seeing that Janssen's originally pale and trembling lips quickly regained some color. Even his pallid face gradually became somewhat rosy. It's just uncertain how much this pill could restore him. Nam reached out and slowly wiped the tears from Nguyen's face. Don't cry, Father Beast will definitely recover. After the shaman prepared some medicine, he could only sigh and handed it to Nguyen. Even if your Father Beast takes these herbs, he might not hold on for much longer. You need to stay emotionally stable. After all, you're still carrying cubs. The shaman's words were like a heavy blow. It smashed heavily onto Nguyen's heart. She suddenly began to doubt the system a little. Siu, the pill you gave me couldn't be fake, could it? System product. Top-notch summer heat relief. However, the pill's effect takes time. Host, please wait patiently. Nguyen's eyes were brimming with tears as she looked at the old man before her. Suddenly, waves of pain surged in her lower abdomen. Host, your emotions are extremely unstable, causing the baby's emotions to become agitated. If not careful, it could lead to a miscarriage. Nguyen furrowed her brows and looked at Janssen before her. But waves of grievance welled up in her heart and simply would not subside. The churning force in her lower abdomen almost made her faint from the pain. The shaman noticed something was wrong with her. and immediately channeled his own power to cover Nguyen's lower abdomen. Although Nguyen felt a bit better, her face remained pale. The surging pain in her lower abdomen almost consumed her. Nguyen was drenched in cold sweat all over. She never expected the original host's body to be this fragile. Seung looked helplessly at Nguyen and simply fused the 10 complete great tonic pill directly into her body. Nam was frantic with worry. He took out several orange beast crystals from his body and fed her over a dozen of them. The startled power coursed through her body. Nam reached out and grasped Nguyen's hand, transferring some of his own power to her. Host, calm down. It's okay. The foundation building pill just needs time to diffuse. It only takes 2 hours. Siu's mechanical voice carried a hint of nervous emotion, afraid that Nguyen might accidentally cause the loss of the hard-won cub she was carrying. Wouldn't all the previous efforts be wasted then? Nguyen slowly let out a sigh of relief and set her mind at ease. Only then did she merge the power of the received crystal within her body into her bloodstream, feeling the power within her body gradually become abundant. The shaman reached out to feel her pulse and only felt a powerful pulse and 3 fox cubs that were now already at the 3rd tier, top-grade cubs. This truly is a blessing in disguise. When you are already a 3R tier little female cub, the cubs in your belly are also the highest tier cubs in our tribe. The shaman clasped their hands together and prayed to the beast god. Immediately after, a ball of white light suddenly appeared on Nguyen's body. The shaman was overjoyed. Nguyen, you have received the beast god's blessing. This is the first time in all my years as a shaman that a prayer to the beast god has been successfully answered. And Nguyen, with her whole heart worried about Yansan, that heart which had originally been prepared to face death, was instantly pulled back. He mustered all his strength. Reaching out to hold his little female cub, he discovered that his eyes, which had originally begun to see things somewhat blurrily, were now clear again before him. Looking up at Nguyen with red-rimmed eyes, forcing out a smile, Father Beast is fine, Nguyen. Don't let anything happen to you and the cubs because of Father Beast. She looked at Yansan before her. His complexion had improved. Even the shaman thought it was a miracle. When he reached out to check the pulse, he found that Yansan's pulse, which had originally seemed lifeless, was now beating stronger and stronger. Could it be that the beast god does not wish to see your family depart, and has bestowed blessings upon your family? Nguyen certainly couldn't speak of the pill matter. Tears glistened in her eyes. It must be like this. The shaman looked at Nguyen, almost certain. Nguyen must be the little lucky star of their tribe. She gave the previously prepared medicine to Nam. Nam listened carefully, remembering bit by bit, asking in detail about the use of each medicine. Finally feeling at ease, the grass curtain hanging outside the door rustled. 2 burly men entered. Looking closely, he realized one of them was Lin, whom he had seen that day, and another male standing beside him, with the fierce, meaty face. Shaman, I feel some discomfort in my belly. Is there something wrong with my cub? Please take a look quickly. Watching Lin stride toward her on thick legs, seeing her about to sit down directly, Nguyen carried Yansan on her back, dodged aside just as Lin sat down without a second thought. There was still a trace of a mocking smile on her face. Nguyen was so anxious her eyes were spitting fire. Father Beast wasn't fully recovered yet. She was doing this on purpose. Nam was about to put it away in his space when he saw Nguyen's small frame carrying Yansan. He was so frightened he quickly hoisted Yansan onto his back. Then he saw Lin, a single beast, already occupying an entire stone bed, and the male standing prominently beside her. 2 such robust rabbit-type beings, actually still trying to snatch a spot from an elder. I am carrying cubs. You and this half-dead old man will only hold our tribe back. You'd better not take up space here at the shaman's place. Lin's voice was coarse and carried a somewhat self-righteous, mocking laughter. However, the tribe always flatters the young females who can bear high-quality cubs. Only they receive the best treatment. So Lin thought what she was doing was completely justified. Nguyen gritted her teeth, looking at the Lin before her. My father beast isn't feeling well. Move aside a bit. She still couldn't be sure how much Janssen's body had actually recovered. She wouldn't feel at ease going back. The shaman is here. They could help in an emergency. Why should I move aside? This is my new beast husband. I brought him here to perform the bonding ritual. Is that okay? That old, undying father beast. Is he more important than my bonding? Lin's eyes were filled with smugness as she looked at Nguyen. Nguyen didn't hold back either. Relying on her third-tier supernatural ability, she slapped Lin across the face. The stout Lin stumbled back half a step. 5 finger marks instantly appeared on her face. Then, she thrust out a thick, pig-like hoof, swinging it toward Nguyen's face with a whoosh. Nam reached out a hand and pulled Nguyen aside. Be careful. Instantly, a hint of killing intent flickered in his cold eyes. A ball of flame erupted from his palm, striking Lin in the face. Lin howled in pain, crying and screaming. The sky rumbled deafeningly, thunderclaps rolling incessantly. Bolts of punitive lightning suddenly descended, striking the cave entrance. Nam, you hide behind me. The protection of females in the beast world is truly excellent. Males cannot casually attack females. Otherwise, just like now, the beast god will deliver punishment. You're insane. You actually dared to injure me with supernatural abilities. Nguyen, you actually allowed your beast husband to harm me. Perfect. Father Beast plans to send a group of young females who haven't borne offspring to the female caves of the strong beastman tribe. You might as well go along with them. Let's see how arrogant you can be then. Female caves. Nguyen listened to this unfamiliar term, its explanation gradually surfacing in her mind. The so-called female caves are places for beasts' pleasure. Some males in the strong beastman tribe, who have been abandoned by females, or those expelled from the tribe with nowhere to go, they all seek entertainment in the female caves. And those females, many will suffer endless harm from those beasts. If any male loses control and kills a female in the female cave, the beast god will deliver punishment. The male who harmed the female will be buried along with her. This is also their helplessness, adopting a method of trading life for life. Nguyen's heart skipped a beat. The law of the jungle in the beast world is just this terrifying. It's just that the rabbit tribe has never interacted with those powerful beastmen tribes that have female caves. The previous chieftain utterly disdained such dealings. Why now? Nguyen looked at Lin. She utterly detested this decision made by the father and daughter. She knew there were still quite a few females in the tribe who, though they have formed bonds by now, still haven't conceived offspring yet. Among them is also Ren Hui. Because the witch doctor is perpetually busy, she also hasn't conceived. The disdain in Nguyen's eyes made Lin feel disgusted. However, the more Nguyen hated it, the more interesting she found it. From childhood to adulthood, the only cub whose supernatural ability was as lowly as hers was Nguyen alone. But Nguyen received so much. Her 3 older brothers are all high-tier supernatural beasts. Originally, she had her eye on Yance. Yance's 6th-tier supernatural ability is unparalleled in this tribe. But on the day of the coming-of-age ceremony, Renhui snatched away the Yance she had been longing for. Moreover, that person still hasn't been able to have a single cub to this day. But she got pregnant with the cub just a few days after forming her bond. This proves she just has slightly lower special abilities. Her fertility hasn't been affected at all. However, after losing the hope of the dissolution pool, she could only keep fixating on Nguyen. After all, Nguyen has very weak special abilities just like her. It's just that all the males in the tribe dislike her appearance. But since she got pregnant before Nguyen, no one calls her the tribe's ugly female anymore. But why is it that Nguyen just went out once and managed to find this male who is even more beautiful than the goddess? Yance is her brother, and she found another extremely handsome male. She hates that at the beginning. Both of them were disliked by the males in the tribe. Ugly females is why she gets to have everything. The shaman on the side heard everything from start to finish. What did you say? The current tribe leader actually wants to send the females from our tribe to the female cave. Is this thing true? Lin looked at the furious person before her and instantly remembered what her father Beast told her. This matter absolutely should not be revealed right now. Moreover, Renhui is her cub. She definitely won't allow such a thing to happen. No, no. I'm just so angry I couldn't help it. That's why I said that. Lin covered the burn on her face. His evasive gaze shifted to another direction. Unexpectedly, Nguyen firmly insisted on charging toward her. How could it possibly be a joke? How could a little female like you have the final say in such matters? It must have been when the clan leader was discussing with the beast that you overheard it. Everyone, you are the protector of all the little females in the tribe. You cannot stand by and watch us be bullied. Nam looked worriedly at his own little one. The female's eyes were red and teary. Her emotions would affect the few cubs in her belly. But what Nguyen said wasn't wrong either. The little females in the tribe were all as thin and small as Nguyen. If sent to such filthy and wretched places, they would only be tortured to death. The shaman's eyes widened in anger, wishing she could tear Lin apart right then and there. If not for knowing that in her belly, she was still carrying a low-grade cub, she would have thrown Lin out long ago. It's not that there isn't. Great shaman. It's not like that. I was just joking. This matter is my fault. I shouldn't have made promises lightly about such things. If you're angry, just punish me, a single beast. The male who had been steadfastly protecting Lin by her side listened to Lin's words from beginning to end, then looked at everyone with a grave expression. Great shaman, I won't form the bond. I'll take my leave first. Lin watched as Kurong abruptly left her side. Where would I still have the mind to fight with Nguyen over territory? Immediately, with heavy steps, I chased out of the cave. At this moment, the two females in the cave were still uneasy. Nam placed Yansan on the stone bed first. The shaman looked at Rong Zhao before her. His complexion gradually recovered. She just felt it was a bit strange. She had to check again. Had she misdiagnosed earlier? The shaman reached out to sense the power on Yansan's body. She discovered that his body was actually recovering. Nguyen, I'm sorry. I misdiagnosed earlier. I'll prepare some more medicine for you. Go back and give it to your beast to consume his special ability. Perhaps it can even advance in rank. Nguyen, hearing the shaman's words, felt a surge of joy in her heart. Nam reached out to wipe the tears from Nguyen's face. Then, a series of hurried footsteps came from outside. Nguyen, who was just about to leave, looked at the dozen or so males carrying simple tools on their backs, passing by the door in an orderly line. Only then did she realize the shaman's cave was close to the neighboring Silver Wolf tribe. This group passing by was precisely the elite hunting party going out. Their rabbit tribe were herbivorous beastmen, and the Silver Wolf tribe's beastmen were considered mild. So currently, in their interactions, nothing had gone wrong yet. Nguyen gazed at another hunting team in the distance, carrying an entire cow. Looking at the several hundred kilograms of beef, her heart drooled with desire. Inshan passed by. Seeing the little female's sparkling eyes, staring at the cattle on their bodies, couldn't help but laugh. Little female, you were born in the year of the rabbit. You can't eat this. Nguyen looked at the silver-haired male. The small canine tooth revealed when he smiled was particularly captivating. There were also two small dimples on his face. He also seemed very gentle. Hehe, it's a different feeling from Nam. Can you use your clairvoyance to help me see this male's special ability? Inshan, the first warrior of the Silver Wolf tribe, just came of age and hasn't been chosen by a female. Ice-type ability, 7th tier. The first warrior's ability is already at the 7th tier. Not bad. Sounds pretty good, eh? Host can try to pursue him. Can give birth to high-tier cubs. Inshan looked at the little female's somewhat worried frown. She still seemed curious about what beef tastes like. Little female, how about I share my portion of meat with you? Nam, carrying Janssen, looked at the little female before him and glanced at Inshan. His eyes held a hint of displeasure. But he could see the little female liked this wolf, cunning wolf cub, actually using beef to tempt his female master. He gritted his teeth and criticized inwardly, but could only endure it. Like Nguyen, an excellent female who awakened a 3rd-tier ability, couldn't possibly have only him as one beast husband. And he goes out hunting. The little female also needs beasts to take care of her. Nam, being sensible, first carried the weak father beast back on his back. Nguyen raised her eyes to look at Inshan before her. A pair of big, sparkling eyes made Inshan feel as if something had tickled him. It wasn't that there were no females in the tribe, but she had never felt this way about other females before. Give all your meat to me. What will you eat? How about this? I have a big pot at home. You bring some meat and come to my house for a meal. How about that? My Nam cooks really well. Nguyen spoke, tempting the silver wolf before her. The other males in the male hunting party all watched the charming, adorable little female gently inviting a male to eat. They all felt somewhat envious of Inshan's good luck to actually be noticed by the little female before them. Then you wait for me. I'll first separate my portion of meat. He almost always eats raw meat. This was the first time a little female said she would invite him to eat cooked food. Inshan used his own special ability to transform into a sharp ice blade and cut off a piece of beef that belonged to him. Inshan was thus coaxed by Nguyen and came to her cave, and Nam had already placed Janssen on the stone bed in the cave. At some unknown time, he had brought back a huge stone from outside again, digging their cave even deeper. Finally, another stone was polished smooth and also placed inside the cave. Nam saw them return, his face still as indifferent and placid as water. Nguyen stepped forward and hugged Nam's arm, softly explaining, I'm sorry. Nam, are you unhappy? I didn't know. You took Father Beast and left first. Nam watched her looking up, apologizing with utter seriousness. A pang of sorrow welled up in his heart. So you did know. It's okay. Just don't forget me and our cubs in the future. How could I ever forget you? You are my first beast husband. And also the first beast husband who didn't disdain my weakness, and even helped me advance in rank. So you are the most important. Hearing these words, a wave of warmth surged in Nam's heart. His little female was truly different. Then, Nam, he brought beef over. I want to eat beef. Can you make it for me? Nam looked at the silver wolf male standing to the side, scratching his head, and could sense his ability level. Within the silver wolf tribe, he should be considered an outstanding presence. If Nguyen wanted to form a bond with him, a 7th-tier silver wolf beastman would be a rather good choice. Looking at the adorable little female, he smiled gently. All right. Nguyen happily pulled Inshan and gathered outside the cave. Then I'll help you both. Nam washed the meat clean with water and used a food knife to slice the meat according to Nguyen's direction. Little females really do care, especially about food. Nguyen looked at the sliced beef in front of her, thinking it would be even more delicious when stir-fried. It's a pity this era has no oil. Then another thought occurred. Can't the little white fruits be made into oil? At worst, there's also that white, fatty meat on animals. It can all be used to render oil. Siu, can you get me some oil? The host space can process it for you. As long as you prepare enough raw materials, the system can process food for you. Exchange it for the food you want. Nguyen went directly into the cave. Looking at the over 20 caddies of little white fruits brought back by Nam, she curled her lips into a faint smile. Strike it rich. Nguyen gleefully grabbed a handful of little white fruits, walked outside the cave entrance. A gentle breeze brushed her face. Her beautiful long hair swayed in the wind. Inshan looked at her, somewhat unable to tear his eyes away. The system reminded Nguyen, "Host, pressing oil might still take a long time. Won't make it in time." Nguyen thought there's still an empire nearby, perfect for digging up to stew with the beef, then transformed into her beast form, turned around and arrived at a place less than 500 meters from the cave. Looking at the already dehydrated, withered yellow leaves, she immediately ran over, used her little claws to scratch at the ground. Indeed, these leaves that look like emperor fruits really are potatoes. And these emperor fruits are already ripe. Picking up one emperor fruit, it looks to be a good 5 or 6 caddies. Inshan stepped forward. Together, they dug out the empire buried in the earth. They discovered at least over 200 caddies of emperor fruit hidden here. Little female, how did you know there was so much emperor fruit here? The females and cubs in Inshan's tribe really enjoy eating roasted emperor fruit. It's soft and glutinous to eat. I recognize the sprouts of this emperor fruit. Let's take them back. This emperor fruit can be stored for a long time. Then see if the system can process it to make some starch. Just thinking about these functions of the system, Nguyen felt bubbles of joy in her heart. Nam and Inshan used 2 huge animal hides to wrap up these imperial fruits. They were just about to take them back when Lin rushed over at that moment. So much emperor fruit. Nguyen, don't you know? These imperial fruits belong to the tribe. You can't take them all back by yourself. Hearing this, Nguyen looked at Lin's ferocious expression before her, feeling discontent in her heart. She had finally managed to get along with Nam and dig up this emperor fruit together. She hadn't expected Lin to see it. And now, he kept saying, these imperial fruits all belong to the tribe. Nguyen curled her lip. This was dug up by me and my beast husband, along with my friend. Why should we share it out? There isn't much to begin with. Nguyen is also carrying 3 cubs in her belly. In the future, when Nam returns from hunting, do I have to share it with the other ORCs in the tribe as well? And this cave and the land at the entrance were originally my share. Nam, let's go. Lin looked at those huge empires and thought of the delicious emperor fruit when roasted. Nguyen is really a selfish and ugly female. She must tell this matter to all the beasts in the tribe and let them all see her true face. Nguyen looked at the emperor fruit brought back by 2 males, then looked at Inshan with a bit of guilt on her face. Sorry for inviting you over and even making you help with work, right? My name is Nguyen. You can call me by my name directly from now on. A blush appeared on Inshan's face. The entire beast was frozen in place. That name is really nice. The name Nguyen kept flashing in her mind, but her heart suddenly tightened. Inshan, my name is Inshan. I am a male from the Silver Wolf tribe. Nguyen, can I become your mate? Nguyen looked at the male in front of her, scratching his head. Looking somewhat at a loss, she looked at him with a bit of embarrassment on her face. It's okay, you can take your time to consider me. I can wait. Nguyen looked at Inshan. The hope in his eyes suddenly turned into grievance. He must be really afraid of being rejected by her. Nguyen couldn't help but laugh. Never thought the male being tested would be so innocent. I can form a bond with you. But Inshan, we have to wait until next month. Can we form the bond? Inshan frowned and looked at Nguyen, a hint of confusion in his eyes. Nguyen smiled. Because I have cubs now. Wait until my cubs are born. The next litter of cubs will be born for you. Inshan's face flushed with shyness. His fondness for Nguyen deepened. He had lost his parents, always wondering when he would find a female he liked. willing to form a family with him. He never expected Yuan to be so gentle and considerate, agreeing to bear the next litter of cubs for him. Although Nam felt a twinge of soreness in his heart, he knew Nguyen loved the food he cooked, and he was the father beast of her first litter of cubs. No one could shake his position. A pot of beef stewed with emperor fruit was just right. Nanan sprinkled some salt inside. Nguyen thought it was extremely delicious. Inshan left all the remaining beef. He planned to return to the tribe, to tell the chief about his intention to form the bond. Night fell. The night in the beast world was piercingly cold. Nguyen shivered all over from the wind, her teeth chattering from the cold. Nam brought the previously made beast skin clothing for Nguyen, held it before her. Nguyen, you put this set of beast skin on. Nguyen looked at that furry beast skin clothing. She was truly so gratified. Her fox beast husband was actually so capable. Nguyen excitedly moved closer to Nam. A cold pair of lips landed on Nam's lips. A touch as light as a dragonfly skimming the water was enough to ruffle the strings of Nam's heart. He had thought that Nguyen was now completely smitten with that wolf, but now it seemed her favorite was still herself. Watching his beloved little female put on the animal hide clothes he made, filled with joy. Yuan indeed looks good in anything. Water, I want to drink water. Janssen, lying on the stone bed, suddenly opened his mouth and called out. Nam immediately placed the bamboo tube by Janssen's mouth. Nguyen, seeing her father beast able to drink water normally, finally set her heart at ease. It seemed father beast was truly getting better bit by bit. I'm not tired, Nam. You go rest for a while. I'll take care of father beast. Nguyen planned to give all the beast crystals stored in her space to father beast, watching the beast crystals slowly disappear in his mouth, power nourishing his entire body. In just a moment, the grizzled hair on Janssen's head began to gradually change color. Nguyen was overjoyed, hearing Janssen's even breathing. She finally breathed a sigh of relief. Nguyen went to another stone bed, snuggled into Nam's embrace, reaching out to hold his waist. Nam felt the little female drawing near. His other arm also held her tightly, close to his side. The next day, the sun was shining on their backsides. Before Nguyen lazily woke up, she just reached out a hand. Didn't touch female next to me. Where did Nam go? Janssen sat upright in the cave, looking at her own little female cub's dazed and confused appearance. She couldn't help but sigh. Yuan, Nam went out hunting. Said he wants to store some food for the winter. And this is the beef soup he heated for you. Janssen was still holding a wooden bowl in her hand, smelling the richly fragrant beef soup. She felt strength all over her body. Nguyen looked at that pot of steaming hot beef soup, picked up a wooden bowl and heartily served herself a lot of meat. Satisfied, she sat to the side and began to eat. But before she could take more than a couple of bites, she realized she was surrounded by a dark, dense crowd of beasts. Those beasts were all male beastmen from the tribe. Only each and every one of them had an unpleasant expression on their face. It seems as if they couldn't wait to tear a piece of flesh from Nguyen. I heard you found a lot of emperor's fruit, and you didn't tell the other ORCs in the tribe. Nguyen didn't expect that Lin would directly tell the other beasts in the tribe about the empire's affairs. If she can't have it, she'll incite the other beasts to come and snatch it together. Nguyen was fuming inside. That was found for me by my beast husband. Hasn't our tribe always been like this? Everyone lives their own lives. They are a tribe of weak beasts. They don't need large amounts of food normally, so they don't have a hunting team at all. Food belongs entirely to whoever finds it from outside. This has always been an unwritten rule. Starting today, it's changed. Our tribe will also form a gathering team. This winter will be tough. All the food everyone has gathered these past few days must be shared equally within the tribe. Nguyen frowned. Listening to these words, she finally noticed the beast who spoke. He bore some resemblance to Lin. She remembered. It was Lin's father beast. the chief of this tribe. In order to seize her food, she never thought that as the tribe's chief, he would arbitrarily change these rules. Fine, starting today. Starting from today. That was what we gathered yesterday. We won't share it, Nguyen retorted, without yielding an inch. However, the males accompanying Chief Lycan were all filled with discontent. They didn't come all the way here for nothing. The female at home is starving, front to back. Yet here at Nguyen's, there are hundreds of pounds of food. They came for their own females and cubs. That's why they came over. But they didn't expect that Nguyen would outright refuse so bluntly. In an instant, swords were drawn and bows tensed. Janssen wanted to stand up and mediate, but was firmly suppressed by Lycan's fifth-tier ability. If it were before, what kind of small fry would Lycan be? Lycan, have you gone mad? My female cub. She is carrying a cub. Do you want to harm the female and the cub, is that it? At this moment, another voice, filled with protectiveness, came from outside the cave. With me here, let's see who dares to harm Nguyen. Just then, Lycan took a step back. After all, not every tribe has a witch doctor, and they have a reputation. It is because of him that the Silver Wolf tribe dares not provoke their tribe. For a female who is carrying cubs, do you intend to treat her this way as well? She merely stockpiled a bit more to get through the winter. Moreover, her beast husband is a 9th-tier twin ability beast husband. She herself has already evolved to the 3rd tier. She is now pregnant with 3 high-tier cubs at once. Do you really want to harm such a female? In the beast world, a female's fertility is very important. And Nguyen previously had no beast husband. Now, she has just formed a bond and is already pregnant. This is enough to explain everything. Lycan and the males he leads behind him looked incredulously at the delicate little female before them. She currently has only one beast husband, so in the future she will surely choose other beast husbands. Lin ran over, panting, pushed aside the surrounding males, and looked at the witch doctor standing before Nguyen. He snorted coldly, "Witch doctor, you must not be biased. She is merely a low-tier, 1st-tier female. How could she possibly be 3rd tier? Absolutely impossible, whether it's 3rd-tier ability or not. We can go test it with the divine sense, and it will be clear at a glance. But before that, if any male still dares to be disrespectful to Nguyen, I will directly declare him a low-class beast within the tribe, and never again will he be carved and bonded." Low-class beast. Nguyen heard this term. I knew this wasn't any good beast, but Auntie Jen is really good to her. She has a good heart. Moved, it seems, in the beast world. Indeed, only strength can make others submit. Good. This is what you, the witch doctor, said. We didn't force it. Everyone heard it. But if you lie, the ground fruits she hoarded will have to be shared with us, Lin said, with a delighted, expectant face. The other males in the tribe also chimed in agreement. Lin is right. If Nguyen is only a 1st-tier beast, then there's no need to hog so much. It should be for us to eat. Janssen's body, which had just gotten better, was made uncomfortable by their words, filled with anger. Originally, he was still a 5th-tier beastman. No beast would dare act like this. Immediately after, the sound of urgent running grew closer and closer. Then a wolf with shiny silver fur and a silver pattern on its forehead suddenly appeared. With a roar, it instantly scared those aggressive males into scattering and fleeing. Nguyen looked at the silver wolf that appeared before her, its flowing silver fur rippling in the wind, its limbs robust and powerful. She just wondered how dashing it would be to ride on this wolf. We in the Silver Wolf tribe have always kept to our own territories. What do you want? Lycan watched with deep, intense eyes the Silver Wolf approaching him, a layer of cold sweat already beading on his forehead. He stepped back one step at a time. Inshan bared his teeth and pounced directly towards him. Just as he opened his fangs to take a bite, Nguyen immediately stepped forward to stop him. She had chosen this exact moment to come. She wanted this despicable lichen to be frightened. Only then would she be happy. However, she couldn't really let him take a bite. After all, if the Silver Wolf tribe and the Pika tribe became enemies, that was not what she hoped for either. Matters within the tribe should be resolved internally. It's better to close the door before beating the dog. Inshan, good boy, I'm fine. They just doubt my ability level. If you're worried about me, come with me. Nguyen reached out and stroked the Silver Wolf's head. Her forehead pressed close to Inshan's forehead. Inshan was moved, and a touch of shyness welled up in his heart. The female master is so gentle. She is a female gentler than even his own mother. Even though she had been wrong, she still comforted him. The voice that met him carried a hint of dryness and hoarseness. All right, I'll listen to the female master. Like a youth's, a clear voice surged forth. Listening to it made Lin's ears almost get pregnant. Inshan transformed back into his beastman form. His tall figure was very straight and upright. The others looked at Nguyen, then smiled while looking at Inshan. They never expected her to be this impressive. To actually have snagged the strongest 7th-tier beastman from the Silver Wolf tribe. To be her beast husband. Their tribe had never intermarried with the Silver Wolf tribe before. This was the first time. Inshan's face flushed with a touch of crimson. The tips of his ears turned red. Nguyen looked at him. In this state, realizing that she had just arrived in the beast world. The two beast husbands she chose were truly worlds apart. The fox was gentle and considerate. The Silver Wolf was pure and adorable. Auntie Jen, he wants to form a bond with me. Can we wait until after I give birth to the cubs to form the bond for us? Auntie's face was beaming with joy, her eyes holding a hint of delight. Of course, you can. Lin's hands were clenched tightly, somewhat unconvinced. Gnashing her teeth, she said, so what if she found a beast husband from the Silver Wolf tribe? It doesn't prove her ability has truly reached the 3rd rank. Nguyen frowned deeply, looking at Lin, this ugly female, her heart full of amusement. She had to make this trip. Then she extended a small hand, holding Inshan's slender, long fingers, looking at Lin with disdain. Fine, let's go. But if my ability really is 3rd rank, from now on, you are not allowed to loiter around my doorstep anymore. And you must never flirt with my beast husbands again. You also have to apologize to me. Inshan listened, his face blushing with shame. And the rabbit males around them, seeing Nguyen speak up to defend Inshan, who was not yet officially wed, they were extremely envious. Nguyen sensed that Inshan seemed somewhat nervous. His palms were sweating, looking at Inshan's silver short hair. Inshan, don't be afraid. I am very powerful. I absolutely won't let you. Disappointed, Inshan nodded. Finally, he looked at Nguyen. After hesitating for a long time, he mustered the courage to speak. Female master, can I still return to the original tribe's hunting team in the future? Don't worry, the clan leader said. As long as what is obtained from hunting will be given to us according to the share for 2 beasts, distributing meat and other food. Is that okay? Meat. Nguyen was very happy to hear the word meat. Moreover, she would later carry Silver Wolf cubs with them. It wouldn't hurt to try eating some food in advance. Besides, Inshan is, after all, the first warrior of that tribe. For her to just take him away like this is somewhat impolite. Of course, you can. When you want to go to the hunting team, I will arrange it with Nam. Nguyen wore a smile on her face. Lin looked at Nguyen, a surge of anger rising in her heart. She raised her eyes to look at Inshan, reached out and patted Nguyen's head. She remembered the male she had finally persuaded last time to become her beast husband. But that male, how could he be compared to a male like Inshan? Inshan's eyes were filled with gratitude. Female master, thank you. Hearing the words, female master, Nguyen always felt it was strange. You can just call me Yuan. Yuan. You and Nam are the same. A warm current flowed through Inshan's heart. So, in Nguyen's heart, he and Nam were the same. Although it is Thescon beast husband. However, Yuanyuan's first beast husband is a 9th-tier beastman. He doesn't think there's anything wrong with this. Janssen looks at Inshan, treating Nguyen as if she were a treasure in the palm of his hand. Just breathed a sigh of relief. It seems his little Femilekab has really grown up. Even if there is no father beast in the future, only Nam and Inshan too. Even if he dies, there's no need to worry about anything anymore. Nguyen far away just saw a huge, mysterious cave. Above the cave, there are several larger characters drawn with dyed fruit. Shen Dong Lin snorted coldly. He grabbed Nguyen's hand, placed on a pitch-black giant rock for a second. 2 seconds, 10 seconds, waited for a long time. On the stone, a row of characters finally appeared faintly. First class inferior. Lin shook off Nguyen's hand with a smug smile. Look, I told you so. How could she possibly be a female with third-order abilities? She lied. Lin's face was beaming with joy. It seems Nguyen hasn't made any progress. They are still the same. Eyes filled with covetousness, staring intently at Inshan. Inshan, this female. Do you still want to form a pact with her? I tell you. My wood-type ability is about to break through to the 2nd rank. You might as well consider mine instead of forming a pact with her. Maybe I can give birth to higher quality offspring than hers. You are too ugly. I don't like you. Inshan seriously refused. Nguyen looked into his clear eyes. Can't help but cover the corner of the mouth and laugh. It seems Inshan is still a looks-oriented person. Nguyen was pleased by Inshan's words. She whispered softly into Inshan's ear and spoke. So I'm very pretty, right? Inshan was blown by the air when Nguyen spoke. My heart is all in a turmoil. Can only nod blankly. But she is just a first-class low-level trash with abilities. Female. So all of your food shall be distributed to us. Lin thought about the potato being roasted. It must taste delicious. Again, snatched from the hands of the one she hates most, nor Lin. Think again about how hard that beast of a husband of Nolan's is striving. Everything you get can be taken into your own hands. Lin felt incredibly elated inside. Nguyen looked at the stone above, gradually fading light. Can't help but grumble inwardly. What kind of crap stone is this? Absolutely, there's a problem. No, this isn't right. I want to test it again. Lin has already confirmed that Nguyen is definitely lying. Test once more. Just test one more time. But the outcome will definitely still be the same. Nothing will change. Lin swears solemnly. But Janssen knows. My own cub has eaten a second-tier beast crystal. It cannot possibly be an ordinary first-class lower beast. Could it be that Evan consciousness will? Is there ever a teamy when it's wrong? Janssen looked at Nguyen about to reach out again. Immediately grabbed Nguyen's hand. Then placed his own hand on it. Let me try first. Janssen's hand was placed on it afterwards. Lycan is also watching carefully. Just worried that something might go wrong. And Janssen's special ability. Soon appeared the words, second-class superior. Has my supernatural ability already reached the upper level? Janssen indeed felt this own special ability. Already reached the bottleneck of the 3rd stage. If his is true, then why did Nguyen just put it up? But is merely a lowly captive. Nguyen, looking at Janssen's ability detection, should be correct. She simply put her hand back on it directly. Lin looked at the divine stone with a beaming smile. The divine stone cannot possibly be wrong. And the power of Nguyen flows and circulates. A faint, shimmering green light encircled the sacred stone. Several words appeared on the divine stone, 3rd-tier medium. Nguyen gave a charming, artful smile. Looking at those few big characters, just felt something was off just now. She turned her head to look at her father, Beast, and Inshan. You see, I told you I'm fine. My superpower is already at 3rd tier intermediate level, although still not comparable my several sisters-in-law. But I am not a lowly person either. Lin frowned, watching this scene, extremely surprised. What just happened? Perhaps it's not you, father and daughter. The real divine stone has been swapped. Lin walks up. One palm slapped on the divine stone. Several words slowly appeared on the divine stone. Same as before. 1st class inferior. So the 1st order lower beast is Lin, not Nguyen. Was that just a test on her? I really didn't expect she would actually fight over a bite of food. Slandering other females. The male standing on the side watches the shocked kite. Just feel disgusted. It doesn't matter if a person doesn't look good. But the heart is also so black. They really hate such females. But a female like him can still find a male. Nguyen hadn't found it before. It's just because Nguyen simply refuses to force the males. You see her and that wolf. If it weren't for mutual consent, she definitely won't say it on her own. After all, females need to hold their heads high. I've heard that. Lifen was also previously knocked out by the love potion flower. That's why I made a pact with Lin. But I heard that Hugh is beaten by Lin before. It's not ready yet. Men getting beaten up is not shameful. But this is just too ruthless. Nguyen listened to both males in the crowd, feeling emotional about this matter. Never expected that the Maluho got beaten up that day. Still not recovered, even if the beast world ice and female with multiple males. There is a bond of sworn brotherhood. Cannot beat males like this either. Nguyen hates Lingyan even more. This female has a corrupt character. Definitely with her that one. Father Beast who likes Toto bad things is related. Now, it's fine. I have already proven that I did not lie. Do you still want my food? The male is shaking his head. Then they all put on smiles and accompanied them. Sorry, Nguyen. It's our fault. We shouldn't have doubted you like this. I won't do it again. Nguyen has no fondness for these beasts at all. They are simply a bunch of fence-sitters who sway with the wind. Inshan saw that Nguyen's special ability had already reached the 3rd tier. A look of delight on the face. He is very fortunate. My own female master has been raised so well by Nam. However, the abilities of males are ultimately limited. And he didn't expect. Low-level female. They actually still face exclusion from females. Their silver wolf tribe. There would not be a female as bad as Lin. Female kite otherwise. You bring Nam and the beast. Father, come with me to the silver wolf tribe. The females in our tribe definitely like you. They will not exclude females. Inshan looks at Nguyen with great concern. Nguyen is still pregnant with the little cub. He is afraid of his female master and the cubs suffer any harm. Nam is not here today. Fortunately, he arrived just in time. Otherwise, if he gets caught by that. What to do if a fat, ugly female bully picks on you? Nguyen looked at serious Inshan. I never expected him to be such a generous and caring beast towards females. Really obedient. Like him even more now. What to do? People are looking at Lycan and Lin. There's a breath of frustration pent up inside. The head of a clan. Lead your male offspring and nephew to bully females. And you, this female whelp, have severely injured a male, should be punished. Lycan gritted his teeth to explain. In the Wuyi tribe, they lack clothes and food. This is well known. I am merely the survival of the fittest. We have always been like this. Is that so? Then move Lin to the farthest cave. Give her cave to the newly adult. The little female who wants to choose a beast husband. His words left Lycan with no room for rebuttal. Lin looks at his father. Beast. However, Lycan said nothing. Just swallowed the grievances in my heart. Janssen finally let out the anger that had been pent up for many years. Looking at Lycan's bowed head. Hey, taking his own female cube and Inshan, he left together. Nguyen didn't expect the father beast's special abilities to have recovered quite a bit. Even the waist has stiffened. Later, she'll have to take out a few more beast crystals from the space. This way, we can properly nourish father beast's body. Halfway there, Janssen said he wants to go back first. Father beast is fine. You and Shanam live a good life together. When you have a baby, the beast father takes care of you. Nguyen helplessly watched as the father beast left. Cannot keep you from leaving. Could only sigh. Father beasts also need to have their own lives. Nam followed the scent and found Nguyen. When he anxiously saw Nguyen and Inshan together, the jealousy in his heart surged up, but didn't say much more. Nguyen simply held own hand of each. Inshan and Nam felt a surge of different emotions in their hearts. They know their female master. I can't bear to see that woe of them suffer injustice. The original accord dispute the two was also because it has alleviated quite a bit for Nguyen. It was them as soon as they returned to the cave entrance. Just saw in the open space outside the door. There is a wild donkey whose neck has already been bitten off. Nam didn't have to deal with it yet. Nguyen didn't expect Nam to be this formidable. Out hunting. Actually, Beast brought back such a whole wild donkey. The superior took the initiative to help deal with the wild donkey together. Nguyen looks at the Setwo Beast husbands. A handsome and gentle. Another pure and sunny. Especially Thiersky high good looks. It just hits Harite in the feels. Sometimes appreciating handsome men is also a pleasure for the mind and body. Moreover, these two handsome men are both his beast husbands. Wait for the two of them to handle all the food. Nguyen starts the wok and heats the oil. Pour the peanut oil that fried the system. The aroma instantly spread out. Then, the other ingredients were thrown in one after another. The scent is so overwhelmingly delightful. Even Ren Hui, who doesn't like to eat meat, was drawn in. Originally, she came to bring Nguyen some good things for stabilizing the pregnancy. Come over and see it right in front of the pot. The little female stir-frying meat with a wooden spoon. Ren Hui somewhat worriedly wanted to stop. How can a pregnant female do these things? Just about to settle the score with her beastly husbands. Turned around and Li then realized they are actually removing meat from the entire donkey. And on the other side, Nguyen. A whole pot of meat has already been stir-fried. Filled a whole bowl. Planning to go give it to the beast father first. People will look at those red and green things. There's still plenty of meat on top. The meat was steaming with a mouth-watering aroma. This female who doesn't really like meat, can't help but want to taste it. Nam, go and bring a bowl of meat to Father Beast. Nam heard Nguyen calling him. Show a smiling face. Immediately run to Nguyen's front. Yuan, I'm going to meet you right now. Watching Nam's adept and familiar demeanor. No wonder the female owner likes him. He really does everything very well. Inshan, my dish is ready. Go wash your hands quickly. We are ready to eat. This is my third sister-in-law. Also, the auntie you saw today. Witch doctors. The female cub in Shanlaw joyfully. The tail is practically up to the sky. His mistress actually introduced him to her family. And he is merely Thieskhan beast husband. Not as important as the first beast husband at all. I'll go prepare Ren Hui now. Looking at the silver wolf tribes, such tall and robust males. Why does it feel a bit familiar? Seems like I've seen it somewhere before. Nguyen fed Ren Hui a lot of delicious food. As a result, I accidentally discovered that Simeon was actually pregnant with a little baby. The two of them went joyfully to Wu Yi Cave. Inshan picked up Nguyen on the way back. I saw a clearing outside my own cave. There are quite a few fresh snolituses and purple fruits placed here. Nem came out of the cave to greet him. When seeing those foods, I was also quite surprised. Is this what you picked? Inshan shook his head. He looked towards Nam. Nam also shook his head. Nguyen looks at those snow lotuses. One bite, one flower. The delightful taste spreads in the mouth. She really likes it. There is also the purple fruit. She hasn't eaten grapes in a long time. I didn't expect there would be so many. At the entrance of one's own cave. Nam and Inshan. Although I don't know who sent the things. But Nguyen is clear. He listened to the nearby movements. I saw from the distant grass, revealing a tail that sways back and forth. Looks lazy. Nguyen couldn't help but burst out laughing. She went back into the cave and fetched a smaller wooden tray. Sneakily placed the meat she stir-fried beside the grass. Cat. I know it was you who sent me snow lotus and purple fruit. I'll take care of your meals from now on. Nguyen watched the egress move a little. The tail and buttocks were retracted by the cat. He turned his big face towards Nguyen. Nguyen's hand being licked several times by his somewhat prickly little pink tongue. Not painful at all. Nguyen covered her mouth and laughed. Reaching out, I stroked the soft fur of the big cat for a good while. A few touches off this cat's texture. It's just different from Inshan and Nam. Really good touch. After reading I'll put it for you again. Nguyen is smiling, looking at the big cat hanging its head, huffing and puffing while eating meat, feeling sweet and happy inside. Nam and Inshan frowned, looking at that suddenly appearing big cat. The alarm blared instantly.